Welcome. Thank you so much for joining today. My name is Melissa, and I'm here to guide you through yoga. We will practice together for 45 minutes today. As we go through class, just a reminder to listen to your body. If any stretches that we work with do not work for your body, please skip them. You can come on out and you can modify. For your practice today, you'll want to have a mat to practice on. If you would like a blanket to do a little bit of padding for the knees, please grab a blanket. And if you'd like a block or two, feel free to grab those. They can be helpful in bringing the ground a little higher up. So those are not necessities for practice, but can be nice, helpful props to guide you through the practice. We will do a variety of seated, standing, reclining stretches. So if you need to adjust your screen, please do so. And today's practice will be wonderful for relaxing the mind and the body. We'll work on increasing flexibility and mobility and building strength. Also take some time to do some really nice leg stretches today. So really great practice for legs, hips, and low back. To begin, let's come on down to our back body. We'll start with a little grounding and a little centering there. So as you begin, you can let your body relax along your mat. So legs relax and arms relax. Also an option to bend the knees and plant the feet if you would like a little bit more of that active resting stretch. And we'll just take some time here just to close the eyes and just allow for the back body to really melt and drop into the mat. Bringing in some mindfulness, maybe just notice and become aware of where the body connects and meets the mat. Feel the back of the head pressing down. Maybe feel the back of the neck a bit lifted from the mat. Feel the upper back and the backs of the arms pressing down into the ground. Maybe feeling the middle part of the back lifting from the mat. Feel the low back and the glutes pressing into the mat. And then feel your legs, feel your heels supported by the ground beneath your body. And take a few deep inhales and exhales here. And as you exhale, try to relax your eyebrows, relax your jaw. As you exhale, release tension in the shoulders. And then just feel your breath gently flowing in and flowing out of your nose. Lengthening as you breathe in and lengthening as you breathe out. Feel free to set an intention for class if you would like. An intention can be anything. It may be that you want to relax a little bit. Maybe you're holding tension in the body, just letting that go as you exhale. Let's gently bring our right knee into the chest and into the stomach. Fingers will interlock, gentle support of your knee. And we'll start with a little bit of circling here. So maybe find large circles, maybe find smaller circles. Just finding that rotation in the hip joints, melting away tension with the breath, with the movement. And then we'll reverse. We will circle in the other direction. And as you come to stillness, let's begin to pull that knee into the body. So we're going to use that arm strength and the shoulder strength to draw the leg in. Maybe feeling a little bit of pressure in the hip joint. And then we'll lighten up on the stretch. This time, let's try to avoid our stomach and our rib cage. We're going to pull that knee towards the underarm. We'll take a nice deep inhale here and a nice deep exhale here. Let's gently bring the sole of our right foot to the inside of the left leg. We can press into the outer edge of our right foot, into the heel of our left foot, lift the hips up, get nice and even here in the hips and the low back. Hands can stretch up and overhead, and we'll find our way into a reclining tree stretch. Take a breath. Let's breathe deeply into the stomach. Feel the navel rise on the in-breath and fall on the out-breath. Breathe into the ribs. Find that expansion as you breathe in. And contraction on the exhale. And then breathe into stomach, into ribs, and then take the breath to the chest. Feel the chest rise as you breathe in and fall as you breathe out. From here, hands will release. Let's sweep that right knee to the left, and we'll take ourselves into a spinal twist. Maybe gently relax that right shoulder down onto the mat. Gaze off the right shoulder. And then take a deep breath into the twist for the stomach, the ribs, and the chest. And then we'll gently unwind this pose. We'll come back onto our back body. Let's take the hands up and overhead, nice full body stretch here. And then let's take knees into the chest, arms, hands around knees or shins. We'll gently rock to the right, to the left. Right foot gently relaxes down along the mat. Left knee pulls in, and we'll find our circles on the side. So as we work on the second side of the body, just noticing how your body feels, how movement feels. And then we'll reverse. We will flow in the other direction. Pulling that knee into the chest, into the stomach. And as you're pulling in, let's feel those elbows hug into the sides of your body. Let your elbows run straight back. We don't want our elbows to flare out to the sides of the room too much. We'll lighten up on the stretch. And then let's take that left knee to the underarm on the left side. Using the breath, use the arm strength and the shoulder strength to really pull the leg into the body. Sole of the left foot to the inside of the right leg. You can always press down to lift up so that you feel even and grounded here. Inhale, hands reach up overhead, grow some branches in reclining tree pose. Maybe as you relax in this stretch, try to clear the mind of thoughts. We always have thoughts moving through the mind, maybe thoughts for the past, thoughts for the future. Try to release the thoughts. Come back to your breath. Come back to the present moment. We'll gently release that arm stretch. We're going to take that left knee to the right for our twist. Left shoulder relaxes down. Gaze can float off the left fingertips. Breathe here. And then we'll gently unwind the pose. Let's pull our knees into the chest, arms, hands around knees or shins. We'll do a gentle rock to the right and to the left. And then working with a rock and roll through the spine. So we'll engage our core, roll up the spine once or twice. Let's take ourselves into seated. And from seated, we'll take a knee down mountain pose. So we'll just be standing on the knees. We'll have a little bit of space in between the knees, and feel free to grab a blanket to pad the knees if you need to. Let's take the arms out into a T position. We're going to float the right arm under, left arm over, and we'll work with our eagle wrap. So you can reach for opposite shoulders. Option to press the backs of your hands together. Arms can wrap and hands can wrap for eagle. Right foot will take a big step forward. We're going to float into our knee down warrior with the eagle arms. See if you can create a sensation of squaring your hips and your shoulders forward. So left hip and left shoulder forward, right hip and right shoulder comes back. As you exhale, let's take a twist. We're going to hook our elbows on that right knee. As you inhale, let's feel our spine lengthen. And as you exhale, we'll let that twist deepen. We'll gently unwrap the pose. We'll transition to a lateral angle from here. So you can unwrap the arms. You might spin that back foot in a little bit. We're going to take right hand down to the ground, left hand up. And if you need to modify this one, you can always bring your forearm onto the leg as well. Maybe take the hand to the sky. Maybe arm frames the ear. You can let your palm face down. Breathing in and out here. Let's take an opportunity to rise on up. We'll come into warrior two, modified here. Let's feel the arms really active. Reach, stretch the fingertips forward, and reach and stretch the fingertips back. Let's work on straightening out the front leg. Working with side planks, you can always take that left foot and spin it in towards the right foot a little bit. We're going to begin to lower that left hand down. Right hand can come up. And then feel free to stay where you're at. Maybe lift the leg up. You can also take your hand for your foot. You could take a bind here. And let's try to breathe. We're going to breathe into that quad stretch on the right side. And we'll reset. So let's put ourselves back on up. We'll realign back to a warrior two position, bending into the front knee. Let's windmill ourselves. We're going to take ourselves into a tabletop position. And then from tabletop, reset to a knee down mountain pose. So we're going to float those knees in line with hips. Arms will float into T. Left arm under, right arm over. Reach for opposite shoulders. Press the backs of your hands together. Arms can wrap and hands can wrap. Let's begin to step that left foot forward. So we find our knee down warrior with eagle arms. Maybe try to be on the upper part of the right knee. That tends to be a little bit of a softer and fleshier part of the knee. We can hook the elbows on the knee for a twist here. So gaze off that left shoulder. Maybe take the gaze behind you a little bit, just so you can move a bit deeper. into your spinal twist. We'll begin to float on up. We're going to open into warrior two. So we'll gently unwrap arms. We'll feel that our shoulders are over the hips here. Let's take that arm down or hand down, lateral angle. And then just trying not to collapse here into the bottom shoulder. We will lift and lengthen a bit here. Rising up with the breath. Reset yourself back. We're going to straighten out that front leg and then side plank variation. And then as you take your side plank, maybe lifting up the leg, maybe hand for the foot, take a bind. And then so easy to hold the breath on this one. So just take a nice deep inhale through nose and nice deep exhale through the nose. Let's begin to gently reset. We'll float ourselves back into warrior two. Let's take ourselves down. We're going to float into a tabletop position. Take a breath here and let's find down dog as you exhale. So as you find down dog, let's begin to shake it out a little bit. It may feel nice to bend one knee, to bend the other knee, and then maybe shake and relax your head yes, and shake and relax your head no. Let's find our way to plank. We'll take ourselves to a high push-up pose. The knees can be up or down, whichever you prefer. Let's lower down chaturanga. We'll come into upward facing dog here. We'll breathe into the low back bend and we'll press back. We'll come into a down dog as you exhale. Toes to the hands. Let's come forward into a fold. And then as you take a fold, we'll create a little bit of movement here. So it may feel nice to bend one knee, to bend the other knee. Then maybe head relaxes yes, and head relaxes no. Bringing yourself into stillness. Let's take hands onto the shins. Find your way to a halfway lift. We'll float ourselves down. Big inhale. Let's root down to rise up. And then gently float your hands down to the heart. Let's take eagle arms. We'll float arms out into a T position. Let's bring that right arm under, left arm over. So as we wrap the arms here, we can reach for opposite shoulders, cross the backs of the hands together, maybe arms wrap and hands will wrap. Let's begin to float the right leg back. We'll land in a crescent warrior. We'll be right on the toes of the right foot. Right heel is lifted. And we'll find nice activation in that right leg. Press firmly through the heel. Press firmly through the back of the knee. Let's take a full breath here to lengthen. We are going to twist to the left. So we'll hook our elbows on that knee. And then breathe into the twist for your low back, mid back, and upper back. Let's take ourselves back on up to crescent. We'll take an exhale, opening into a warrior two position. Let your shoulders be over the hips. Feel the arms really active here. Let's float that left arm down. We'll bring ourselves into a lateral angle. And then trying not to collapse here into the bottom shoulder. Try to find a little bit of lift and a little bit of lengthening. Rising up with the breath. Warrior two. Hands will come down. Let's find our way to runner's lunge. We'll step back into plank. Take the right hand to the sky. We'll find our way to side plank. And then in side plank, you can always lower the bottom leg down for a little bit less. Top leg can lift for a little bit more. Always drop down onto the forearm if you need to. Let's take ourselves back into plank. We'll lower down, chaturanga. We'll come into up dog here. Let's breathe into the mid back bend. We'll press back. We'll come to down dog as you exhale. Toes to the hands. Let's bring it into our fold. Hands to shins to halfway lift. Fold down. Inhale, we'll root down to rise up. Hands to heart. Exhale. Arms float out into our T position. Let's take that left arm under, right arm over. Option for 1, 2, or 3. Let's get nice and grounded in our right foot. And then that left foot begins to step back. We'll find our way to crescent. As you align here, feel the tailbone tuck. Feel the navel move back and up towards the spine a little bit. Lengthening, and then exhale, we will twist. And then as you're twisting here, breathe into the twist for your stomach, your ribs, and your chest. Ground firmly into the feet. Let's bring ourselves back on up to crescent. Arms unwrap. We'll reset to warrior 2 pose. In warrior 2, maybe find a deeper bend in the front knee. Maybe in time, working that bend to a 90-degree angle. Find activation in the legs. Feel the legs gently pulling in towards one another. Let's take ourselves down to lateral angle or extended lateral angle. Maybe create a little twist sensation in the stretch. Feel that left shoulder roll back. Feel the right shoulder roll under. Let's bring ourselves back on through. Warrior 2. Hands will come down. Runner's lunge. Step back to plank. Left hand to the sky. Side plank. And then try to feel that top hip lift up. Top hand rises up. Keep the breath moving in and out through the nose. Let's take ourselves back into plank. Lower down, elbows to the sides of the body. Up dog. We'll breathe into that upper back bend. Press back to down dog on your exhale. Let's get nice and weighted here in the feet. So the heels don't have to touch the ground, but we just have to move the weight in that direction. So getting that weight out of the hands. Let's take our right leg up to the sky. 3-limb dog. We will bend, stack, and open. Option 2, stay here. You may want to try flip dog. So flip dog, we're going to take our foot to the other side of the mat. Both of the knees are bent. Both of the feet are planted. Hips are lifting up. And maybe imagine that you could squeeze a beach ball in between the knees. Let's come back through 3-limb dog. Right foot will step forward. Runner's lunge. Begin to bend and straighten the front leg. If the stretch feels a little bit much for you, you can always bring your back knee down to the ground for support. You can always take the hands on blocks for support as well. And then as you come forward to a runner's lunge, let's bring off the back foot and we'll take ourselves into a warrior 3 pose. We'll try to find a spot to focus on. One spot to focus concentration, to focus awareness. Once you find that spot, not letting the eyes shift at all. Let's come back to a runner's lunge. We're going to straighten the front leg. This is a runner stretch. If you would like more of a stretch, bring more weight into your front foot. Lifting up that right hip, balancing off the hips and the low back. Let's come forward for runner's lunge. We'll take ourselves to warrior three. Feel yourself nice and grounded through all the parts of your right foot. We'll press through the inside, through the outside, and then noticing your body's natural tendency if you roll in or out. Let's take ourselves back to runner's lunge. We'll take right hand to the sky for a twist. And then as you're twisting, see if you can activate the back leg. Press firmly through your heel in the back of the knee. Lower that right hand down. We'll float it forward for warrior three. Imagining if you saw yourself from the side, trying to create a capital T shape in your body. Long line from right heel to right hip. Long line from left heel to crown of the head. Warrior one. Left foot back. Heel grounds down. Hands will reach up. Have a nice deep bend in the front knee. See if you can feel the arms really active here. Feel the arms frame the ears. Fingers are active. Reach, stretch through the fingertips. Let's take hands into steeple. Fingers will interlock. Release the index fingers. Lengthen. Hands float back. We'll take a bit of a back bend here in warrior one. See if you can open the space at the heart. And we'll rise up, warrior one, and let's take it to warrior two pose. As you take warrior two, feel the shoulders gently relaxing away from your ears. We'll straighten the right leg. Hips will kick to the back of the room. Hands reach, stretch forward, and then lower the hand down. Let's find our way into triangle pose. And then as you take triangle, imagining if you could see your body in a mirror, create these large triangles. So triangle through the legs and the earth, and then triangle through the arm, the side body, and the leg. Stay here for a bit more. Right hand comes out in front. You can play with this idea of finding balancing half moon pose. Flex your left foot. Left toes point to the left side of the room. Stay here, option to build. Left hand for left foot. You could take sugar cane. Feel that sensation of kicking the foot into the hand for a little bit more. Let's bring ourselves to warrior two. We'll all meet there. Let's drop back into the breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. Windmill the hands down. Let's bring it to runner's lunge. Find your way to plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Up dog. Let's see if we can open the chest and the heart a little bit more. Shine the heart forward. Down dog, press back. Left leg to the sky. Three-limb dog. Then stack and open. Feel free to stay here. Maybe work on your flip dog. We're going to flip that foot to the other side of the mat. Both of the feet are planted. Both of the knees are bent. You can feel the palm of that hand facing the sky. Hips reach and stretch up and back. Let's take ourselves back. Three-limbed dog. And then we'll find our way to runner's lunge. Begin to bend and straighten your front leg. And then just being really mindful of the left knee. So we want to feel that our knee and our ankle are in the same line. If the knee is moving too far forward, we'll just want to bring a bit more distance between front foot and back foot. Let's come through. Runner's lunge to warrior three. And then imagining you could balance a book on your low back. You might feel that right hip rolling up. So maybe gently roll the hip down a little bit. Let's come back to runner's lunge. We'll straighten the front leg. We will fold forward. Right hip comes forward. Left hip draws back. Full breath in and full breath out. Come back through center, runner's lunge, warrior three pose. Try to find a neutral gaze. Try to lengthen the back of your neck. Reach and stretch through the crown of the head. Back to runner's lunge. Left hand lifts. Let's twist. And then as you're twisting here, nice big inhale through the nose. Big exhale through the nose. Reset back to runner's lunge. Let's take ourselves forward. Warrior three pose. And then we'll come into warrior one position. Hands will reach and stretch up, getting nice and grounded in your feet. Being mindful of not gripping the toes, maybe even lifting the toes up and just feeling that groundedness through the feet. Hands into steeple. Lengthen, hands float back. Let's open the chest and the heart for a back bend. And then up to a neutral spine. Exhale, warrior two. In warrior two, let's drop back into the breath. Flowing in and flowing out of your nose. Straightening your front leg, hips will kick back, hands reach and stretch forward. Let's lower the hand down, find your way to triangle pose. Maybe imagine your body in between two panes of glass. Feel your body stack and open. Shoulders in one line, wrists in one line. Make your way into balancing half moon pose if you'd like to go there. Always option to hold that triangle stretch. Gaze down to your left toes. Just making sure there's nice activation there. Hand for foot, take a bind. And then just feeling those left toes pointing forward so that your foot is straight with the edge of your yoga mat. Warrior two, let's land. And then as you gaze down to your left foot, just make sure that your knee is tracking in line with your second and your third toe. We don't want our knee to move into the center of the mat too much. Let's release. We'll come into a runner's lunge. Let's step back into plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Up dog. Let's see if we can reach, stretch through the crown of the head. We'll press it back. Let's take down dog as you exhale. Knees will begin to lower. Hips to heels, child's pose. So as you take child's pose, knees can be together if you would like. That will help to stretch your low back. You can also take big toes to touch, knees apart. Giving a hip stretch, giving a leg stretch. And then really just letting yourself melt in child's pose. Where are you holding tension here? Can you let that tension go as you exhale? Let's begin to rise up. We will sweep our feet to the right or the left. We will take our feet out wide, working with a fold with wide legs. So extend those legs nice wide. You can always walk those heels out a little bit more if you need to. Let's take a full breath to lengthen. We will fold as you exhale. And maybe letting the eyes close here. Just noticing where you feel the stretch in your body. We all experience each stretch and pose so differently. So maybe feeling the stretch through legs, hips, low back, maybe through the back of the neck as you let your head relax and you let your head release. And then we'll begin to rise on up. Hands can relax. Let's gently take that left ear to the left shoulder. Maybe pausing, close the eyes. Breathe into the stretch for the right side of the neck. Let your breath draw you through center, lengthen and soften right to right. We'll inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. We'll take ourselves back to center. Let's gently bring our chin to our chest. Head hangs heavy. Breath in, realign, gently soften the head back. And reset. Let's sweep our legs together. We'll give our legs a little bit of a shake out. We'll bring ourselves onto our back. And then as you come down onto your back, let's plant the feet down. Knees will be bent. And then gentle support to the back of the head so fingers can interlock, gentle support here. Let's engage the core. Tailbone will tuck. Navel moves back and up towards the spine slightly. Hold the engagement of the core. Let's begin to lift the head, the neck, the shoulders up. And then we'll lower down to the mat. Lift and lengthen up. Let it go. And then we'll begin to flow with the breath here. Try not to crank the head at all. You just want to offer that gentle support to the back of the head. When you lift next time, let's try for a twist crunch. We'll take right elbow to your left knee. Maybe keep the head up as you reset, and then we'll take left to right. We'll do a little flow side to side here. And then really keeping that connection to the core. Maybe imagine if you drew a line from your navel down to the ground. There is a grape there, and you'd want to squish that grape. So really just holding that nice core connection. Coming back to neutral, let's let that one go. Hands onto the knees. Then we're going to take our knees out wide to the sides of the room. We'll sweep them back to center. Nice big circle out. Bring it in. One more time here. 3 times in the other direction. And then we'll let that one go. Moving into Shavasana, we'll take some relaxation time here. Legs can relax, arms can relax, eyes can close. And just giving yourself this time to integrate the benefits of the time on the mat today into the mind, into the body. Take a moment to wiggle fingers and wiggle toes. We'll roll to the right, finding your way into a fetal position. We'll press on up, coming into seated. Hands can move into the heart in prayer. Take a moment to thank yourself for practicing yoga today, for doing something so good for your mind, so good for your body. The light within me honors the light within you. Namaste. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope that you enjoyed today's practice. Please leave me any comments or feedback. I look forward to being back with you tomorrow. We have mindful stretch. That's 3 o'clock Eastern time, 15 minutes of stretching on the mat. I'll also be here on Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern time for chair yoga. We'll do 30 minutes of stretching at your chair, at your desk. I hope that you have a beautiful day today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.